Hello everyone, it is Circuit 6 and welcome back to ARK Survival Evolved. This is episode 2 on how to tame a trike, or in other words, a Triceratops. Using a slingshot at a low level seems to be the most effective way of bringing down a trike. Of course, if you can see here, I already aggroed one, and unfortunately I didn't have any ammunition with me. So you see me running around, grabbing stones, taking a couple shots at the trike and trying to knock it out. The most important thing when trying to knock out a trike is keeping a good distance from it. I took a few hits, got knocked around a little bit, but for the most part, it didn't do too bad. Could have been a bit cleaner, but I'd recommend trying to avoid getting hit like I am. Pretty much every creature in the game, including yourself, has a torpor meter. Torpor is pretty much a state of physical or mental inactivity, and hitting the trike with stones increases its torpor. Once its torpor is high enough, it'll eventually pass out and become unconscious. So the main goal here is we want to hit it enough times to make it unconscious, but not too many times to damage its health so far that our taming effectiveness is reduced. Once we've successfully knocked out our trike, we'll need to start taming it. To do this, we need to feed it. Seeing as the trike is an herbivore, we're going to feed it berries. One of the most important berries to have on you, however, is the narco berry. This will keep the trike pretty much unconscious for the entire taming process. The purple berries, or the mijo berries, seem to be the most effective when taming. It seems to be the one that the trike prefers the most. It will eat the other berries, however your taming effectiveness will be much greater if you have a constant supply of the mijo berries. I always throw extra berries in there just to make sure that if I do run out of the mijo berries or the purple berries, that it'll still keep eating and I won't lose any of the taming. If you happen to run out of berries on your dino, then the taming effectiveness is going to drop really quickly. So it's important to make sure you have a constant supply of berries. While taming, you're not going to want to venture too far away. If you do, and there happens to be a carnivore around, any kind of meat-eating dinosaur, it's going to go and try and attack, and it's going to try and eat the dino you're trying to tame. If this happens, if it gets attacked, the taming effectiveness can be reduced and your taming progress can be halted or even decreased. So keep a close eye on your dino while you're gathering berries. It's a very tedious process, but it's well worth it in the end. One of the main reasons I chose the trike to start with is because it has a decent carry weight, typically around 300. I'm going to use this as my workhorse and help me collect lumber so I can build my first base. Even though I haven't completely tamed the trike, I still have complete access to its inventory. So everything I harvest that, exceeds my carrying capacity, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it on the trike. That way it'll be there when it finally is tamed and I won't lose any of those resources. Looking at the unconscious meter now, we can see that the dino is kind of slowly starting to wake up. So what we're going to do is we're going to access the inventory. We're going to click on the narco berries and we're going to click remote use item. This will force feed the dino the narco berries, and we'll see the unconscious meter slowly returning to full. One narco berry acts for about 7.5 torpor from what I've seen. So every 10 berries, you're looking at about 75 torpor. You can see this value on the right-hand side when you access the inventory of the creature you're trying to tame. Another thing to keep in mind, which is very important, is that not all berries are the same. Here I've got some stem berries, and if I force feed the dino stem berries, you'll see its torpor meter start dropping really quickly. The stem berries are actually trying to wake up the dino we're trying to tame. So I would not recommend using these. You can see the unconscious meter dropping extremely fast right now. So I'm basically going to force feed it a ton more narco berries to get it back up. Do not, under any circumstance, feed stem berries while you're trying to tame. It can be a long and tedious process trying to tame your first dino. It's well worth it in the end as long as you keep it well protected from any carnivores. They can provide great utility. Like I said, I'm using this one as my workhorse to help me collect lumber to build my first base, which will be in an upcoming episode. All in all, it's a fairly tedious process. As long as you keep your dino well stocked on berries and unconscious by feeding it narco berries, you should be relatively successful every time you try and tame. Once the taming meter reaches 100%, your dino will wake up, become conscious, and you'll be able to name it whatever you like. I'm going to go ahead and name this guy Jeb, after Jebediah from Kerbal Space Program. Now that my dino's been tamed, I can access it and pretty much set its different types of modes. So, for example, I can set it to passive, I can set it to aggressive, I can set it to neutral, and I can also set it to attack my target. So here I'm looking through the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and cycle the aggression. You got to do it multiple times, and eventually it'll get to attack your target. This is the one we want to select so that anytime I attack something, it will attack it as well. By default, the dinosaur is set to follow you. If you don't want it to follow you, if you want to leave it back at your base, all you do is access that same screen again by holding E and select Disable Following. Your tame dinosaurs will also level just like you do, and you'll be able to assign points to their stats. So for this guy, I'm pretty much going to increase only his hit points and his carry capacity, as I'm going to use him as a workhorse, and his hit points will help ensure that he's not killed off later on. So that will about do it for this episode on taming a trike or a Triceratops. As always, if you liked the video, please rate, comment, or subscribe. Or if you have any feedback for me, anything I missed whatsoever, please leave it in the comments section below. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya.